Hello my dear students, in today's class let us learn respiration part 2 of the chapter life process. In our last class we studied about digestive system. So process of nutrition you have studied. That means which are the process of nutrition? First ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and digestion. So these are the process of nutrition. Okay, ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and digestion. These are the process. It starts from the mouth and ends in the anus. Okay, so that we studied. Today we are going to study about the respiration. In digestive system or in the nutrition, what happens? The food is going to break down. The complex food breaks down into the simple form, and that nutrition will be transferred into all the parts of the body. But here the breaking down of that nutrient to release the energy takes place here, respiration. Okay, there the nutrient is observed and supplied to all the parts. From that nutrient it oxidizes that nutrient and releases the energy over here. Okay, so now come to the meaning of respiration. Respiration is the process in which oxidation of food takes place to release the energy. Okay, respiration is the process in which oxidation of food takes place and it releases the energy. So respiration is totally different from breathing. So what is breathing and what is respiration? Let us see. Breathing is a physical process. See, intake of the air which is rich in oxygen. Intake of air which is rich in oxygen and breathing out or exhaling out. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. So inhaling of the oxygen, exhaling of the carbon dioxide. That process is known as breathing. Breathing is nothing but the process of intake of oxygen and exhaling of the carbon dioxide. Just it is a physical process. Okay. So here respiration is oxidation of the nutrient and to release the energy. So it is a chemical process. This is physical and this is a chemical process. Okay. So here in the beginning, pertaining to respiration, in the beginning they have given about two experiments they have given. Okay, so one experiment what is that one experiment tells is, see here in the previous class also, in acids and bases lesson also you have learnt the release of carbon dioxide from the metal carbonate reacts. When the metal carbonate reacts with acid, it gives carbon dioxide. So that carbon dioxide passes through the lime water. Lime water, what it becomes? It becomes milky. So here also we have to take the test tube. We have to fill with the lime water and take one straw. With the help of the straw we have to blow. What we are blowing? Carbon dioxide, we know. How to know that it is carbon dioxide? So to prove that we are exhaling out the carbon dioxide, this is the experiment done. Okay. So here when we blow, the lime water turns milky. If the lime water turns milky, then we will conclude that the exhaling gas is carbon dioxide. Okay. This is the experiment to prove that we are exhaling carbon dioxide gas. Okay. Another experiment they have given about the yeast. You have to take the sugar solution, add the yeast, keep it for 1 or 2 days, and the level of the sugar solution increases. If we test that, we will come to know that carbon dioxide is released during the fermentation. So that is also one of the process. This is also one of the process. So this thing they have given in the beginning, and come to the next part. In this respiration they have given about, this is very important chart. Many questions they may create in this, either 1 mark questions or the whole process you can write. Okay, this is the complete process of breakdown of the glucose by various pathways. Breakdown of the glucose by various pathways. We know that during the digestion what happens? The food digested and we got the nutrient in the form of glucose. So that glucose will break down to release the energy in various ways. The different pathways are there here. So which are the different pathways to break down the glucose? Let us see. So here glucose, 6 carbon molecules of the glucose undergoes Krebs cycle. Undergoes pyruvate. That means it converts into the pyruvate. Okay. So 6 glucose molecule will break down into pyruvate, and 6 carbon molecules will convert into 3 carbon molecules along with the energy. Where does this process occur? This process occur in the cytoplasm. They may ask, the conversion of the glucose into the pyruvate occur in the dash. Okay, so this is the question they may ask in cytoplasm. Or in the cytoplasm, glucose is converted into dash, pyruvate, and 6 molecules of carbon is going to convert into 3 molecules of carbon along with the energy. So this is the one process. Later on, this pyruvate will again convert, that means again break down. So here pyruvate, in the absence of oxygen, okay, in the absence of oxygen, in the yeast, where does this occur? In the yeast. So converts into ethanol or break down into ethanol with the 2 carbon molecules. Along with the carbon dioxide and energy is also releasing here. So this is called anaerobic respiration. See, respiration are of 2 types. Respiration are of 2 types. One is the aerobic respiration and another one is the anaerobic respiration. So here, in the absence of oxygen, anaerobic respiration, the respiration takes place in the absence of oxygen, is called anaerobic respiration. So this is anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration it is. So here pyruvate gets converted into ethanol along with the 3 carbon molecules of will convert into 2 carbon molecule in the absence of molecule. So anaerobic respiration takes place in what? In the yeast. Okay. Here oxygen is not necessary. Here oxygen is not necessary. So in the absence of oxygen, where does it occur? Anaerobic respiration occurs in the yeast, and pyruvate is converted into what? Ethanol. So you have to remember ethanol. Next, come to the next one, aerobic respiration. This is anaerobic respiration. This one is the aerobic respiration. This one, aerobic. This one, presence of oxygen. They have given here presence of oxygen. You can see this chart in the textbook also. By seeing the chart, you observe this one. Okay, if you can't see here. So here, in the aerobic respiration, in the presence of oxygen, pyruvate is converted in the mitochondria into carbon dioxide and energy. Okay. So carbon dioxide, hydrogen and energy will be released. So this is aerobic respiration. So there are 2 types of the respiration, aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic respiration takes place in the mitochondria. Aerobic respiration takes place in mitochondria. Anaerobic respiration takes place in yeast. So in the yeast, anaerobic respiration takes place in the absence of oxygen. Here it takes place in the presence of oxygen. Okay. And in the mitochondria, this process occurs with the release of the energy. That energy will be stored in ATP. 38 molecules of energy will be released, and this energy is stored in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Whenever we require, that energy will be released. So in mitochondria, this energy will be converted. This pyruvate will be converted into energy, and that energy is stored in the ATP. So pyruvate is converted into, or aerobic respiration in aerobic respiration of the pyruvate takes place in what? Mitochondria. Okay, aerobic respiration takes place in mitochondria, anaerobic respiration takes place in yeast. That you have to write. Next, come to the next one. Pyruvate gets converted into lactic acid in the lack of oxygen. What will happen to the pyruvate during the lack of oxygen? Okay, during the breakdown of the pyruvate, if the lack of oxygen is there, what will happen? What is the product comes? So pyruvate, because of the lack of oxygen, it gets converted into lactic acid. Pyruvate gets converted into lactic acid in the lack of oxygen. Lack of oxygen, not complete oxygen is did not get. So where does it occur? It occurs in the muscle cell. This is very important. Where does it occur? Here it occurs in the yeast, in the muscle cell, in the mitochondria. Okay. So where does it occur? In the muscle cell. It occurs in the muscle cell. So sometimes old people will tell the muscle pain in the legs or muscle catch, they will tell. So they will get the muscle catch. Why do they get the crack, muscle crack or muscle catch? They will tell. So they will get the pain in the muscle. So in the legs, that too during the night time or to the old age people. Why means due to the deposition of the lactic acid. Due to the deposition of lactic acid, they get the pain. So if there is a lack of oxygen, that pyruvate in the muscle cell will get converted into lactic acid. Due to the lack of oxygen, it gets converted into what? Lactic acid. Okay. So that is called also okay, that is not required. So this is the process of breakdown of the glucose by various pathways. So breakdown of the glucose by various pathways. So now come to the next one. Here, respiration. How does respiration takes place in fishes? How does respiration takes place in plants or in small animals? How do it takes place? Let us see. Afterwards, in human beings, let us pass on. So okay, here in the plants, only through the diffusion, respiration takes place through diffusion through the stomata. Okay, respiration takes place only diffusion. So diffusion, where does it occur? Through stomata. You know that opening and closing of the stomata with the help of the guard cell. So diffusion helps here. Okay, diffusion helps here by the opening and closing of the stomata. So in the plants, so through diffusion, plants are going to respire. So what will happen at the night or what will happen at the daytime in the plants? Let us see. So at night there will be no photosynthesis. At night there will be no photosynthesis. So what will happen? It eliminates carbon dioxide more instead of eliminating oxygen. So in the photosynthesis, what will happen? It produces oxygen as the byproduct. But here there is no photosynthesis in the night, so that more amount of the carbon dioxide is there, so that will be eliminated out. That will be eliminated out. More amount of carbon dioxide will eliminate out during the night time because of the because there will be no photosynthesis. During the daytime, what will happen? Oxygen photosynthesis occur, so it produces oxygen as a byproduct, so that oxygen will be eliminated more. They may ask, in plants during the daytime oxygen will be eliminated more, and in the night carbon dioxide will be eliminated more. Why? What is the reason? During the daytime photosynthesis will take place and oxygen will be produced more, that's why oxygen is eliminating. During the night there will be no photosynthesis, so that if there is no photosynthesis, oxygen we won't get, but it eliminates the carbon dioxide. So the photosynthesis is the reason. Occurs in daytime, it will not occur in night time. So that is very important regarding the plant. Okay, now come to the fishes. You know that fishes respire through gills. So what will happen in the fishes? Fishes takes in water through the mouth. Fishes take water through the mouth and it pushes to the gills. There in the gills, blood vessels observe the it observe the oxygen present in the water. Okay, dissolved oxygen. Fishes will take dissolved oxygen because fishes are in the water. Compared to the air, the amount of oxygen or rate of oxygen is very less in the water. So here in the air more amount of oxygen is there, that's why we are breathing out and breathing in like that only. But in water it is in the dissolved form, that's why it has to respire through gills. Okay, so what will happen here? Dissolved oxygen, it will be taken by the dissolved oxygen. Dissolved oxygen the fishes will take. That means the water will go through the mouth and forcibly it pushes to the gills. In the gills there are some blood vessels, and in the blood vessels blood is there, so that blood will absorb the oxygen and respire. Okay, so like that fishes respire through gills. Next, come to the next one, terrestrial organisms. So different terrestrial, from the small terrestrial organism to the large terrestrial organisms, they respire different. Different animals respire in a different way. So here through the skin, some may respire, that means a frog through the skin or through the lungs also it respire. So like that different animals respire in different ways. So here they have given about the human beings, respiration in human beings. So let us see how do human beings respire, what is the process. Like a digestive system, here also there is a process of respiration. Let us see respiration. So just a minute, I will rub the board and write. Now let us see the process of respiration in human beings. In human beings, how does the air pass inside and how does we are going to exhale. Let us see. So we have two nostrils. What do we have? So this is the process of respiration in human beings. In human beings, the air is passed into the body through what? Nostrils. Two nostrils are there here. So the air is passed into the body through nostrils. So in the nostrils passage, in the passage of the nostrils, there are some hairs. you know that some small hairs are there, along with that mucus is also there. So it filters the air. Okay, if the dust particle is there, so it filter the air. The hair helps here filter the air. The hair helped to filter the air. So here filtered by that fine air, and also the mucus is there. If any small insect goes inside the nostrils, through the nostril, if it comes here, that mucus, the secretion of the mucus will kill. That means it is having the ability to kill that bacteria. So acts as so the pesticides will kill the ant, no? So like that it acts. So it kills the mosquito here itself. Sorry, not mosquito. So any small insects. Small insects, if it goes here, it will not enter into the body. It will kill due to the presence of the mucus. Okay. So here, then through the nostrils, the air is passing inside the throat. So in the throat, so now the air is in the throat. So here in the throat there are rings of cartilages. There are rings of cartilages are there in the throat. So which ensure the passage which does not collapse. It helps in ensuring that the passage of this passage will not collapse. Okay, it will just lead to the lungs only. So rings of cartilages are present in the throat which ensure the air passage does not collapse. So then from the throat, the air passage or the air we have inhaled will go to the lungs. So the lungs then divides into the smaller and smaller tubules which are called as the alveoli. Smaller and smaller tubule-like structures, balloon-like structure. We can say smaller and smaller tubules called the balloon-like structures called as the alveoli. So that alveoli provides the surface to exchange the gases. Okay, to exchange the gas. You know that inhaling the oxygen and exhaling the carbon dioxide, which is the part which is going to help in exchange of the gases. That means it gives the surface. Okay, alveoli gives the surface to exchange the gases. Okay, so in the alveoli there are walls of alveoli. So in the walls of the alveoli there are blood vessels. Okay, so alveoli contains many walls of alveoli which contains the blood vessels which carries the blood. The vessel contains the blood. So network of blood vessels are present at the walls of the alveoli. Okay, in the alveoli there are walls of alveoli. So walls of alveoli contains the network of blood which carries the oxygen. That means the inhaled oxygen will go to the network of the blood vessels. Okay, so what will happen here is from all the parts of the body, the carbon dioxide is collected by the blood. Carbon dioxide will be collected by the blood and it will pass to the walls of the alveoli or the blood vessels which are present in the alveoli. From all the parts of the body, what is collected? Carbon dioxide. It is going to where? To the blood vessels which are present in the alveoli. And from the nostril to the lungs, it goes to the alveoli. What is going? Oxygen is going. There in the network of the blood vessels, exchange of oxygen and so carbon dioxide will be takes place, and the carbon dioxide will be exhaled out and the oxygen will be absorbed by the blood and go to all the parts of the body, and this process will continue as it is. So what will happen when we inhale and when we exhale? So where is the place? When we inhale, the amount of the air should collect inside. There should be some gap. If it want to collect means there should be gap. Where is the gap? Let us see. So this is the lungs. So in between the lungs and the stomach there is some space which is called as diaphragm. Okay, what it is called? Diaphragm. So in between the lungs and the stomach there is a place called as the diaphragm. Diaphragm will be dome shaped. Diaphragm will be in dome shaped. What will happen when we inhale? When we inhale, diaphragm will be flattened. Diaphragm will be flattened and it gives the space. And also the rib cage will come up. See, this will be attached to the rib cage. That means support has been given with the help of the rib cages. You know, here and all rib cages are there. So if we touch, you will come to know the hard parts here, rib cages. So it is supported with the help of the rib cage. So what will happen when you inhale? The rib cage will go up and gives the space to expand the lungs, and also the diaphragm. What will happen? Diaphragm will get flattened. It is dome shaped. It will get flattened. So this space, the lungs will get this space, so that when you inhale, that lungs becomes enlarged. Okay, the lungs become, see here, when it gets flattened, diaphragm when it gets flattened, the lungs will become, lungs will get the space to inhale the gas, so that it becomes somewhat bigger in size. Okay, so like that, when you exhale, this becomes small and it becomes like this, it occupies that space. Okay, it occupies that space, like that it will go on. Diaphragm, with the help of the diaphragm it is, so, and with the help of the rib cages will pushes up and leaves the lungs to go down, and also diaphragm will be flattened and gives the surface to the lungs to go down. Okay, so in this way, while inhaling and exhaling, this type will act, so that through the nostril we are inhaling the air into the body. In human beings, the air is passed into the body through the nostril. Two nostrils are there. Inside the nostril there are some small hair like structure which filter the air, and also there is a mucus which kills the small insects if it comes. And also from the nostril the air passed through the throat, so there is a rings of cartilage in the throat, so that it ensures the passage of air which does not collapse. And also from the throat it leads to the lungs. So the lungs has been divided into smaller and smaller balloon like structures called as alveoli. The alveoli contains the walls of alveoli which contains the blood vessels, network of blood vessels. That blood vessels contains what? Blood. That blood from all the parts of the body, carbon dioxide will be collected and retained in the blood vessels. And when we inhale, the oxygen will be absorbed from the blood, and that carbon dioxide from the blood will be exhaled out. Small amount of the oxygen will be retained in here. See, for example, here is the alveoli. Think that here is the alveoli. All the amount of the oxygen will not pass to all the parts of the body. The blood will not take a full amount. The little amount of the oxygen will retain in the lungs, because sometimes the rate of inhalation may get slow. Sometimes if we close, so we want oxygen in the lungs. So where does this oxygen? So that's why to continue the process or completely it won't be empty. So little amount of the oxygen will retain, and the rest amount of the oxygen will be taken to other parts of the body by the blood. Okay, so if the process of inhalation, if it's slow also, little bit okay, we can able to tolerate, not much. So that's why it retains small amount of the oxygen here. So this is the process of what? Respiration in human beings. You can write in the flow chart and learn the respiration in human beings. So now let us pass on to the excretion. Just a minute, I will rub the board and explain about excretion. Okay, till now we understood about the respiration, the process of respiration. Now let us pass on to the excretion. So how does excretion takes place in human beings? So in single cellular organisms, it may done through the diffusion. But here human being is a complex. Many organ systems are there to for every process, because many cells are there. It is not a single celled organism, it is multicellular organism, human being. That's why we have to excrete through some particular organ. So here we have a pair of the kidneys to excrete. So before that, what is the meaning of the excretion? If we say, so it is the removal of the metabolic waste. It is the process of removal of the metabolic waste from the body. That is called excretion. Removing the metabolic waste from the body, or removing the which is very poisonous, which contains urea. Okay, so see here, when we take the food, the undigested food will go through the anus, which is not that much poison as compared to the urea. Why means in our cell there are many cells in our body. So these cells excrete the poisonous substance called as from all the part of the body. This metabolic waste will be collected. These metabolic wastes are very poisonous when compared to the undigested food materials, which we take digested food now. From that undigested food material will come now. Compared to that undigested food material, this waste which comes from the cells, from each cell. It is very poisonous because the cell is made up of protein. So that protein produces what? Nitrogenous waste. So nitrogenous waste contains urea. So it has to remove, or else if you won't remove that nitrogenous waste, it makes the body poison and may lead to the death. So that process of removal of that metabolic waste, so that process of removal of metabolic waste is known as excretion. Okay, so in the excretion in human beings, it is done by the pair of the kidney. See, it is the excretory. Explain the excretory system in human beings if they ask. The excretory system in human beings contains a pair of kidneys. What does it contain? A pair of the kidneys. So, and also ureter, a pair of ureters are there. See, this ureter has come, just a minute. Okay, this pair of the ureter, see, this is the kidney part, and a pair of the ureter I have written here. So the diagram you can see, I have not written here neatly. So the diagram you can see in the textbook. So it is the pair of the ureter, and that ureter will lead into what? Where it is connecting? It is connecting to the urinary bladder. Later on it goes out. The urea which is excreted or produced will be excreted through the urethra. A small opening is called urethra. So these are the parts of kidney. Okay, so this is the part of the kidney in which there is a renal artery and the renal vein. So this is the renal artery, this one red color they have given in the textbook. So this is the renal artery where impure blood will pass in, impure blood. See, the main function of the kidney is filtration. You have to remember, don't get confused with the transportation and excretion, because in transportation what does the heart will do? The heart will pump the blood. The heart will pump the blood, but here the kidney will filter the blood. Filtration of blood will takes place here. Okay, the impure blood will go to the kidney, it filters and come back with the pure blood. So here impure blood will go into the kidney with the help of the renal artery. Okay, through the renal artery, the impure blood is going into the kidney. There in the kidney there are nephrons. How many nephrons are there means, in one kidney 1.2 million of nephrons are there. See here, in one kidney 1.2 million of nephrons are there, and in both the kidneys 2.4 millions of nephrons. I have written the single nephron. A single nephron structure I have written. This type of the nephron, how many are there in our body in both the kidneys? 2.4 millions of nephrons are there. So all the nephrons are what it is going to do? It is going to filter the blood. Okay, so purify the blood. Here what will happen? The renal artery it goes, and there with the help of the nephron. So the structure I have written and I will explain how it filter. So here many nephrons are there. So in these nephrons the blood will get purified, and the excretory products are there. No, the metabolic waste, that is urea, will be passed through the ureter and it will be collected in the urinary bladder. As and when the urinary bladder is going to fill, there will be one opening. Through the opening, because of the pressure, it comes here. We feel like excreting the urine. So urination occur. Okay. So in small children as well as the old people, very old people, aged people will not come to know whether they are urinating. Bed urinate, in the bed only they will urinate, you know, small children or aged people. Why they will do like that? They will not done it purposely, because here this is made up of the muscle. The bladder and the urethra is made up of what? Muscle. Elastic nature is there. Elasticity nature is there here. To whom? So to the children, that elasticity nature doesn't, it is in the developing stage. The elasticity nature will be in the developing stage, so that they won't feel like that pressure, or they won't feel like. That's why due to the lack of that elasticity, the urine as and when the bladder fills, it will go run out. So that's why they will not feel. Even in the older aged people also, that elasticity it lost. For example, if you bring the rubber band, when you bring, in the beginning it will be tight. But after using, what it will become? The elasticity will lose. It loses the elasticity. The same thing in the aged people also, it loses, the muscle loses the elasticity, urethras. So what they will do, they will urinate on the bed or wherever they stand, they will urinate. That is not their problem. You should not scold to the aged people or the children, because it is not their problem. It is due to the elasticity nature of the urethra, okay, the muscle which is there in the bladder and urethra, okay. So here if the pressure occurs, and also it is controlled by the nerves. It is controlled by the nerves, so that which are connected to the brain. That's why we feel like going for the urination, then we will go. So this is about the structure of the excretory system in human beings. Let us see the structure of the, and also in the excretory system, in the blood, what is there? Hemoglobin is there. So that hemoglobin is having the affinity with the oxygen. So it is having affinity with oxygen. So the blood is having the affinity with the oxygen, so that it absorbs the blood and carries all the all the parts of the body. So which is the excretory pigment over here? Here excretory pigment is the hemoglobin. Okay, excretory pigment, hemoglobin you have to write here. So this is regarding what? Excretory system in human being. Excretory system in human being. Okay, here how many liters of urine it is going to filter daily? Not 1 or 2 liters of water. It is going to filter about 180 liters, it seems. It has given in the textbook. About 180 liters it is going to filter, but all the 180 liters will not go out. But in the form of urea, 1 or 2 liters, not 180 liter, 1 or 2 liters, till 1 to 2 liters of urea will go out. Okay, so large amount of the blood will be purified here. So let us see how does the nephron in the kidney. There are 2.4 millions. Each carries 1.2 million of nephron. So each nephron, what does it do? Let us see. So this is the structure of the nephron. If they ask how does the filtration goes in our body, or how does it removes the metabolic waste. So with the help of the nephron, if you explain, if they ask to explain, you have to explain. Or structure of the kidney, if they ask, this you have to write and explain. If they ask the how it is going to filter, this you have to write and explain. Okay, this they may ask for the long answer, or in between they may ask the question. Okay, so this is the structure of the nephron. So in the structure of the nephron, there is a Bowman's capsule. What is there? There is a Bowman's capsule is there. In the Bowman's capsule, renal artery will come. What will come? Renal artery will come, which carries impure blood. See here, renal artery is coming here. So renal artery which carries what? Impure blood. A small amount of the filtration occurs here. So there are glomerulus here. So glomerulus is there. So which is called as the glomerular ultrafiltration. Here in the Bowman's capsule, what is there? Glomerulus is there. So it will filter some amount of the metabolic waste will be filtered over here. But afterwards it will pass on to the impure blood will pass to the tubule-like structures. In the tubule, what will happen? That blood contains, the impure blood contains urea, amino acid, glucose, water and salt as the impurity. Okay, these are the impurities present in the blood. Okay, so impure blood from all the parts of the body will pass to the Bowman's capsule of the nephron through the renal artery. Understanding the lesson? I think so. So through the renal artery, impure blood comes here. Little bit filtration takes place in the Bowman's capsule, where it contains the glomerulus. So after that, the filtered blood will go to the tubule-like structure. So in this tubule-like structure, urea, amino acid, glucose, water and salt has to filter. But it will not go to filter everything. Here only the poisonous substance is urea. Only the poison substance which has to excrete is urea. Other substances are there. So these are required by the body. It should not excrete. If it excretes, our cells may die. That's why here these are the substances we have to reabsorb. It has to reabsorb these substances. So this tubule-like structures, what it will do? It will absorb amino acid and glucose. The tubule-like structure absorbs. It is called as a selective reabsorption. What does it called as? Selective reabsorption. What is which are the which are the substance required by our body. That selective substance will be selected and it will be reabsorbed. That's why it is called as selective reabsorption. So amino acid and glucose will be reabsorbed by these tubules. Later on, the impure blood which contains the urea, water and salt will go to the Henle's loop. See, this U-shaped loop is there, no? It is called as the Henle's loop. So here it comes. So in the Henle's loop, what will happen? The rest of the water and the salt will be reabsorbed. So this water and salt will be reabsorbed here. Here what is reabsorbed by the tubules? Amino acid and glucose will be reabsorbed. Here water and salt will be reabsorbed, and the left behind the urea, that urea will pass through the collected duct and it will be excreted out. So in this way, and also the pure blood will go through the renal vein. So impure blood will come through the renal artery, it gets purified and go through the renal vein. The pure blood will go through the renal vein. Impure blood will come through the renal artery. Okay, this is the process of what? Structure of nephron and function of nephron. How does it work? So once again I will explain. See the structure of the nephron. The structure of the nephron consists of Bowman's capsule which contains the glomerulus and also tubule-like structures. So these tubule these are the tubule part of the nephron, Henle's loop and collecting duct are there. So through the renal artery, impure blood will go to the Bowman's capsule. There in the glomerulus ultrafiltration takes place. But and also the blood will pass to the tubules like structure. There urea, salt, amino acid, water, all these parts, all these substances are there. Only urea has to get rid of. So that here in the tubule like structure, amino acid and the glucose will be reabsorbed. It is called a selective reabsorption, and the impure blood which also contains water and salt as a needy material will go to the Henle's loop. In the Henle's loop, water and salt will be reabsorbed and then urea only will get excreted. Okay, so like this the structure of the nephron and the function you have to write. So till here we have learnt about the excretion. So what will happen if both the kidneys gets damaged due to some accident, or if we take more this one tablets due to some reasons, if both the kidneys doesn't function, what will happen? So we have to go for dialysis. In the beginning they may give the tablet to remove the excretory substance, but afterwards if the kidneys are not functioning totally, means what they have to do? They have to go for dialysis or kidney transplantation. So here dialysis, what they will do from the renal artery, I told already. So dialyzer is the machine. Dialyzer in the textbook they have given, you can see the dialyzer is a machine which contains a dialytic solution. Okay, here tubule like structures are there which also contains a dialyzer solution. So from the renal artery, so at a time they will not collect all the blood out. The human being may die. So two veins will be there. One from the renal artery they will collect the impure blood, pass to the dialyzing machine, and another connections will be to the renal vein. Okay, from the renal artery they will take to the renal through the renal vein they will put in. So like that. So from the renal artery they will take the blood, impure blood, through the dialyzer machine they will send. Their selective reabsorption will take place. Only urea will be collected in one jar and the remaining amount of the pure blood will be sent through the renal vein into the body. In this way they will purify artificially by the process known as dialysis. Okay, so this is about excretion in human beings. Let us see excretion in plant. I'll rub the board and explain. Just a minute. Okay, so now excretion in plants. So how does plant excrete? So plants also excrete in various ways. So if the plant doesn't require more amount of the water, so the water which is not necessary for the plant, that will be, the extra amount of the water will be excreted through transpiration. So about transpiration in other lessons you will study. So excess of water will be excreted by the plant through what? Transpiration. They may ask the question. And also this waste materials will be stored in the vacuole. So these plants will store these excretory material in the vacuole, or either it may store in the leaves which fall off. After few days the leaves will fall off, no? So excretory material will be stored in the leaves and that leaves may fall off. So like that it will excrete the material. And in the old xylem, where does it store? In the old xylem, as what it is going to store this excretory material means in the form of resins and gums. In the form of resins and gums, it stores in the old xylem what excretory products. The plants stores the excretory products in the form of resins and gums. You know, it will retain on the stem of the plant. Resins and gums will be there on the plant. So plant stem. So you have seen. So that type of the resins and the gums are stored. So those are the excretory product. So in old xylem and in the form of resins and gums it is storing. And also it will excrete to the soil also through the roots. Through the roots it will excrete the excretory substance to the soil. So in this way plants are going to excrete. So excess of water will be excreted through transpiration, and also the excretory material will be stored in the vacuoles, or excretory material may be stored in the leaves which has been fallen off after some times, or in the old xylem it will store the excretory product as resins and gums, or it will excrete into the soil through the root. Okay, these are the different ways that plants also excrete the waste material or unwanted material. So in human beings, which is the excretory material? Urea. Okay, urea is the main excretory material which is very poisonous. That will be removed by filtration from kidneys. Okay, so this is regarding the excretion. So hope you all are understanding the lesson. If you are understanding the lesson, you can subscribe the channel. So keep watching and continue learning. Subscribe the channel. Thank you. If you know Kannada medium students, all the lessons have been done in Kannada medium already and uploaded. So you can tell other friends also to see in Kannada medium. Explanation has been given. So all the lessons almost has been covered along with the blueprint and notes. So pass on the information to your students. Or if you click Rupa TP in the YouTube channel, you will get all the lessons. Okay. So let us see in the next class about transportation. Okay. Thank you.